Can you beat Super Metroid while only in the Morph Ball? In all of Metroid's history, it is not a big stretch to say that the most iconic item is the Morph Ball. Nothing else has ever managed to reach the same level of familiarity and iconography as the simple action of Samus, the main protagonist, curling up inside a sphere. That's why, today, I will be attempting to beat Super Metroid while only in Samus's curled up ball form. Now, you may ask, how is this even possible? Well, the Morph Ball is readily available soon after leaving Samus's gunship. However, being in this Morph Ball does limit our options. For example, we cannot shoot our normal beam, charge beam, ice beam, wave beam, spazer, plasma beam, screw attack, high jump boots, space jump, speed booster, shine sparking, or hyper beam. But we are able to use bombs, power bombs, and spring ball, as well as various suit and gravity suit. And obviously, yes, we can use the Morph Ball. But what even is the Morph Ball? Well, according to Wikitroid, the prime resource for Metroid-related information, Marumari, or Round Ball, is the alt form of Samus Aran. It turns her into a sphere 0.8 meters in diameter, allowing her to enter small tunnels and openings, which often lead to previously inaccessible areas. So, as they said, what we're dealing with when talking about the Morph Ball is actually a sphere. You see, the definition of a ball is a solid or hollow spherical or egg-shaped object that is kicked, thrown, or hit in a game. However, this primary definition does not necessarily suit our needs to define what Samus is doing when going into her Morph Ball form. So, we need to learn some express words from the Morph Ball's creator, Nintendo. Nintendo originally gave Samus the Morph Ball for the original Metroid because technical limitations in the 1980s made it difficult to animate her crawling. Citation needed. And exactly how it functions is unknown, but prime concept art shows a large ball forming around Samus from her suit's material, then shrinking down to its miniature size. In-game, a core of energy is visible through the equator between the two sides, indicating that Samus may transform into energy to fit into the smaller ball. So, what we do know is that the Morph Ball is likely Samus transforming into a perfect sphere, then her armor transforming into an imperfect sphere around her. But can this really be called a ball then? Let's go over an alternate definition for the word ball. This time, as a verb, it means to squeeze or form something into a rounded shape. This means that the Morph Ball may not refer to the spherical object that contains Samus, but the action that performing this move takes. The Morph Ball morphs and balls Samus and her suit up into the shape that resembles a sphere, but is not inherently spherical due to its edges. Now, I believe this historical background and context will aid us in this challenge run, as knowing the enemy is the first step to defeating it, and we must truly get to know the Morph Ball before we can conquer the entirety of Super Metroid while inside it. And when I say Super Metroid, I'm referring to the game released on the Super Famicom in 1994. Although, there is a very strong argument that every Metroid game could be called Super, as the word super means very good or pleasant, excellent. However, this does not apply to Fusion because it fucking sucks. But indeed, as video games are an extremely subjective, debatable form of art, any Metroid game could be called super. One I'd certainly describe as super is 2021's Metroid Dread. Released by Nintendo for the Nintendo Switch in 2021 and developed by Mercury Steam. You see, upon investigating a mysterious transmission on planet ZDR, Samus faces a mysterious foe that traps her in this dangerous world. The remote planet has been overrun by vicious alien lifeforms and murderous robots called Emmy. You hunt, or be hunted, as you make your way through a labyrinth of enemies in Samus's most intense side-scrolling adventure yet. Samus is more agile and capable than ever. You can guide Samus Aran, an intergalactic bounty hunter raised by an ancient tribe, and traverse the many environments of a dangerous world. Parkour over obstacles, slide through tight spaces, counter enemies, and battle your way through the planet. Through her countless missions, Samus has never experienced a threat like the dread of CDR. My favorite part is getting to power up and find more ways to explore and secrets to uncover, one of those secrets being the ever-beloved and iconic Morph Ball. You see, the Morph Ball is actually quite different in Metroid Dread compared to Super Metroid, as you are able to shine Spark in ball form with ease and use a new move called Cross Bombs, which help you destroy many obstacles and go higher than before. Which reminds me of a technique that we can use in Super Metroid, where we are able to reach new heights using the bombs, essentially able to fly forever as long as you have the right timing. This technique is also available in my favorite Metroid game, Metroid Dread, and understanding something in the future gives you a good idea of how it would be in the past. Knowing how the Morph Ball works in Metroid Dread paves the way to a better understanding of the Morph Ball in Super Metroid. One technique we may be able to use in Super Metroid that is not in Metroid Dread, however, is Mach Ball, an ability that allows us to get past certain puzzles with precise jump and morph into a door. And, I believe, there's one last thing we must understand before we can truly feel ready to overcome this massive challenge. What is a sphere? I briefly touched on the complex dynamics of a ball earlier in this essay, but it is unfair to assume everyone would understand the nuance of a sphere. You see, the Morph Ball is not a sphere. However, it is spherical. If it were in real life and we were to peel off the armor, we could assume the inside would be a perfect sphere, essentially a smooth, geometrically designed third dimension circle. The geometry of the sphere was studied by the Greeks. Euclid's Elements defines the sphere in Book 11, discusses various properties of the sphere in Book 12, and shows how to inscribe the 5 regular polyhedra within a sphere in Book 13. Euclid does not include the area and volume of a sphere, only a theorem that the volume of a sphere varies as the third power of its diameter, probably due to what the fuck?
pronouncenames.com. Evdoxos o Knidioos.
Probably due to Evdoxos Knidioos. The volume and area formulas were first determined in Archimedes' on the sphere and cylinder by the method of exhaustion. Zenodorus was the first to state that, for a given surface area, the sphere is the solid of maximum volume. A sphere has no sides and is perfectly round and even on all dimensions, not being more tall than it is wide. I believe the Morph Ball would look this way, however, the armor on it from Samus's power suit makes it an imperfect sphere, with angles jutting out due to the sharp and metallic nature of the armor. Why would this provide any advantage to the perfect, geometrically designed sphere, I hear you ask? Well, it actually doesn't. Unlike most things in her arsenal, this is the one thing Samus has that is purely for aesthetics. I know this because she told me. We hang out sometimes and we are best buds. But now that we have a somewhat passable understanding of the geometrically imperfect Morph Ball, I believe it's time we make our first attempt in this grueling, difficult challenge. Can you beat Super Metroid while only in the Morph Ball? Nope.